And I'm Annie. And this is...
Oh, it's two friends.
One chat.
Annie and Susan get clinical. I think that's how we wrote it.
Yeah. We're going to get, maybe, not like super clinical, but just a little bit.
I mean, do we ever get super clinical? I think at work we do. I think at work we definitely are professional.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, yeah.
all the time.
Super.
In case anyone I know
Soups.
or work with is listening, always professional at work.
Now we get to just share our ideas of fun mental health with you, which is really exciting. And today we get to talk about what I consider... Now, I want to preface before I say this. Not everyone's understanding of their response of fight, flight, or freeze is one as humorous as the ones I'm going to share. So, you may have experienced something frightfully traumatic. I really want to honor that. I'm going to illustrate what are now pretty humorous examples of me knowing what my lizard brain response is. So today we're going to talk about when you go... when something happens, right?
Yes.
Your mind is going to drop from the top part, which is all this beautiful processing, and it's going to take you into the little core, which we call the lizard brain.
Yes.
And it's going to tell you...
Annie's doing some really wonderful brain hand
imagery.
Yeah.
You can't see it,
but it's really good.
This
your fist.
Put with your thumb in. So you make a fist with your thumb in, and then lift up 4 fingers. That thumb across your palm is what we call the lizard brain.
Okay, so just because I need to help the people, I feel.
Yeah.
So we told you to make that fist with your thumb in. That represents your whole brain. You're looking at your whole brain now. Yep. Okay, and all that fingers are all those parts she was talking about, all the processing and thinking and being creative and we're problem solve. Ooh, feels so good. Mm-hmm. Then, BAM! I just wanted to create a little whoop for you.
It's terrifying.
BAM! So you're scared.
You're
scared now. Hopefully you weren't driving. Sorry. Maybe I should have prefaced that. But anyway, now something happened. Yep. You're scared. BAM! Get rid of those fingers.
You have, in the biz we call this, you flipped your lid. Shit got real.
You flipped your fingers up. You flipped your lid.
I do this exercise with people. It's actually from TBRI, but you flipped your lid and you are now in lizard brain.
That's your thumb tucked in. That's your lizard brain.
Yeah, and it's going to tell you to do one of 3 things. You are going to fight it out. You are going to run the heck away. That's flight. Or you are going to freeze. And we see this in nature, right? Possums do the thing where they just... and then they pretend to be dead. And it works for them. It works.
Are you calling me a possum?
No, I'm just using examples. And squirrels run.
Ouch.
Squirrels are, squirrels, bunnies, runners.
BAM!
And then we've, of course, got our fighters, right? Like bears, I guess. I don't know.
Ooh. You scare a bear, he's going to swipe at you.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
Oh, so much there. But before we do that, well, let's do a quick check-in. Let's talk about how we coped this week since we chatted all about coping and everybody copes.
We cope-dumped last time.
Mm-hmm. And it was super fun.
So what little coping...
Yeah, what'd you use this week?
Pebbles have I used this week?
Little turds? You knew I was going to go there.
What little cope turds have I used?
Oh my god, that's like the funniest.
I don't want to go that into poop, but I had a bad cope poop. I think too much. Okay. So we talked a lot about like positive ways you could cope. Mm-hmm. I think, and I have one of those too, but I do tend to use alcohol a little bit to cope. I have a very, very, very intense job.
Yeah.
Just life is intense. But I watch it, I monitor it. There are times where I'm like, ooh, this is feeling not great now, and I'll stop, So I'm not like worried about it, but definitely some of that this week.
Okay.
Just because it lets me like, whoo.
Yeah.
Calm down for a second.
It absolutely has that effect. Yeah.
Just need that one glass.
Yeah.
So I did that, but also I was trying really hard to be really in the moment with my partner because he is just so stinking hilarious, and I really wanted to just enjoy that time instead of thinking about the other giant list of things that I had to do. So those are the 2 ways I coped this week.
The relationship one is so beautiful to me because I think that is one of the most amazing ways we get to cope is to be in positive relationship with other people. And when that is a go-to skill, I think that's a really positive sign, one, that you have healthy attachment, but then also that you are getting joy out of your relationship. So that's just a huge positive. Love to go back to the drinking one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question. Does any other activity give you that similar muscular release that you can think of?
The muscular repeat, no, I would say no. For the actual like muscle tension relief, I would go with there's not another coping skill I currently have that does that.
I think.
But do I want another coping skill?
I think you know where I'm going with this.
Son of a bitch.
I think we should try.
Mm-hmm.
We should try.
Don't say it, Annie. Don't say it. Say it.
We're gonna try a yoga class together. We are. We'll do an episode about it. It'll be fun. I promise.
Will it be fun?
Well, it will be for me.
For you and the listeners. For you and the listeners.
Hey, you might like it.
I've tried yoga.
But you haven't done it with me.
You just go ahead. Go ahead and throw it in the mindfulness bucket. It's not for me.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
But I'll try it if you ask me to because I love you and I'll do anything you ask me to do.
That's wonderful. Also, I'm interested to dive more into the reasons behind why you don't like mindfulness, but we'll do that another day,
another episode.
Yeah, and it'll be fun because I love mindfulness.
Sure,
it'll be fun for me.
For you. Again, fun for you.
Yeah. But I love you.
Okay. I love you too. How'd you cope, Annie?
Actually, I redid my office. I got a new desk and created a lot of space. I realized I spend a ton of time in this space and I needed to make it more functional.
Oh.
And I love reorganizing, making spaces. I got more natural light coming in.
You're talking my language.
Oh, so awesome.
And we are in here right now, listeners. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful.
Got a new washable rug.
New rug.
You guys, they make cute rugs that you can just put in your washing machine. Which, if you have four-legged friends, is kind of a necessity.
How's that fit in your washing machine for real?
It really does. It's nuts.
For real.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to get the expensive ones too. This is not even a commercial. There's like knockoff brands on Amazon. 10 of 10 worth it.
Done and done. Because I just got a text message that the dog puked on the rugs at home, and they are not washing machine rugs.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Well, it happens. But now I know.
Yep.
I'm just gonna get one of those.
Yeah, they're really wonderful.
Well, we'll get home and see how bad the damage is, and then.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Just get me one of those. All right. Washable rugs.
I also did access more working out this week.
Yes, girl.
And I am trying. I have high cholesterol, which is kind of dangerous, actually.
I think we talked about that. I do too.
Yeah. So I'm
not that old.
Well, it's stress. Stress does it to you. I am also biologically prone.
Wait, stress gives me. Well, I was screwed from the get-go, wasn't I?
Don't say that.
I didn't know stress
it
caused
just
high
means
cholesterol.
you have more opportunity to practice positive coping. You should see Susan's face right now.
I just don't like how positive you're being today.
Bring it down a notch, Annie. This is my natural Christmas cheer coming out. Okay, but here's what I'm trying is, so I was talking to my doctor, and I have a couple people that I consider like good counselors,
Sure.
not like the clinical sense,
Right.
but like they provide good counsel for my outcomes.
Yes.
And somebody recommended the book to me, How Not to Die, and it's super great. I highly recommend, and it basically lists the most common things people die from, and you just go to your chapter, and it's like, hey,
Oh, for one of those things
Yeah.
that you are dealing with right now.
yeah, this
Okay.
is what causes high cholesterol. It's these foods and these and so I was like, hey, that actually really makes sense in my brain. And so I am trying a much more plant-based diet. Not like 100% plant-based. I'm still going to eat fish and chicken, which is an okay thing for high cholesterol.
Okay.
Anyway, it has helped me. I think I feel better knowing that I'm making positive steps towards.
Wow.
Yeah. So I highly recommend. We'll put it on our Instagram, How Not to Die. It's really inexpensive on Amazon.
Okay.
And all science based. They've done a bunch of research on
Okay.
like, people.
Legit.
Yeah, people die from this. This is what causes that. This is what you should do. Very basic.
Love it.
A bit intense. Obviously, it's not something you're just gonna.
We're talking about how not to die.
You're not gonna plow through chapters, but so far I'm really liking it, and I'll give updates too. But I'm enjoying eating a lot of fruit.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll keep it going.
Fruit it is.
Yeah, so that's how I've been coping this week.
I love it.
It's actually been a pretty great week. Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I feel pretty good about that actually.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Oh, let's go with you.
Okay.
Let's go with you.
I'm going to tell a story of how I learned what my coping mechanism was for the first time.
Stinking love it. Stinking love it.
So I'm right out of high school. I'm hanging out with my two girlfriends, and we were bored, right? So we would do really unsmart activities.
What?
Yeah. One of them,
Really?
yeah, who could have thought it?
Well, I missed all those years.
Oh, I know, it's sad.
I was
It's
born at
before you-
30, so okay.
Oh, that is true.
It's true.
I both didn't know you at this time, and you came out of the womb at 30
At 30.
years old.
Yeah.
You
okay.
came out of the womb, I'm pretty sure, like with a notepad,
Yeah.
making a checklist.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
You were like, have I gotten my vaccines yet,
Yeah.
doctor? Doctor. That's pretty
Who can I take care of? How can I help people?
Mhm.
As a baby, as an infant.
And it's an infant. Mom, you doing okay? Do you have all your nutrients? I'm just checking in. Can I get your pulse? Can I get, yeah.
It is. It honestly is weird to me to hear that like kids are bored and do dumb things. I mean, I know
we were
now that other
idiots.
people do it, but okay. Anyway, what'd you do?
Yeah, we're just,
What did stupid young bored Annie do?
So there was a rival high school. I'm not going to name which one,
No,
but
don't.
we were like, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So
The chickadees, huh?
we were the chickadees.
Yeah.
Those damn chickadees.
I hate those chickadees.
Yeah, so we
Ugh.
maybe go to the chickadees hen house.
Yeah.
One might guess, and
Sure.
perhaps we would relieve ourselves on the chickadee.
You did not.
Oh yeah.
Did you number 1 or number 2 them?
Well, first of all, this is all hypothetical.
Also, don't answer if you don't want to. But
Oh, it was just number 1.
you number 1 did.
Yeah. But we just knew, hey,
Hypothetically,
the chickadees were practicing on that field the next day.
You did not.
We were so bad.
You did not.
I wonder if I'll have to bleep this story. Do you think I can even tell this story?
Yes.
Okay. Well, just so you know, none of this
aren't real.
actually happened.
No.
Wink, wink.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing. So we were there, hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
And one of my lady friends had to not go number 1. There was porta potties, right?
Oh.
So she went into one of the porta potties, and so we're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun. We'll shake the porta potty, right?
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Not.
No, super. It was stupid.
Not
It was super
hilarious.
funny.
I can think of 10 reasons why you shouldn't do that, but okay.
Well, we went up to one, and we had been there a while, and we shook it,
Of course you
thinking
did.
we're so funny. And
Hilarious.
then nothing.
Wait.
And we look over, and my girlfriend is coming out of a different porta potty. And we all just sort of look at each other, and all of a sudden we hear this, hello? And I couldn't control any of the body response. I sprinted.
You were freaked the F out.
And I sprinted for the car, just like a goddamn bullet.
You're a flighter, huh?
I'm a flighter. These leggies were, there's a Simpson episode where it's like, come on, Marge, pump them crazy legs. And I was and that's when I knew.
That you were a runner.
Yeah, and nothing
Because
happened.
really, before you even make any, I mean, it's not like you thought about it.
Absolutely
You're like,
not. Nope, your body
what do-
just
right, you
decides.
just- that
Yeah.
lizard,
Bam, flip.
just like,
runner.
you're a runner, go.
Yeah. My body
Save
was like,
yourself.
which is so wild. And it's so sad because I want to relieve people. If you feel, I have another story too, which is way worse, but you can't control your body's response. You're not a bad person. Your body's just teaching you how to survive.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not better if you're a fighter. You're
No,
not worse
yeah,
if you're a freezer. You are just who you are.
Thank you for saying that, because that is so true. There's not a right or wrong way to respond to this.
Absolutely not.
And I personally, I have not looked this up. Maybe I should. I don't think you can even change it. It's so instinctual. You can't be like, oh, I don't want to be a freezer anymore. I want to be a runner. You can't. Like,
you know, I want to do more exploration of that because, one, I'm wondering if we even have a good level of research on that. We should do a follow-up.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, could you change it? Like, could you make yourself a fighter?
Okay.
I'm curious.
We'll
about
get
that.
back to you on that.
Also, if you have an experience
Of
changing it, yeah, please dish.
Ooh.
This is like great info.
Dish
but
friends.
dish. Okay, now you go, and I'll
Okay.
tell another one that's like wildly shameful. It's more recent.
You
too.
want my funny one?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Okay.
Funny one. Yeah.
So, as we've all said, I'm a possum. I was gonna say octopus. What is going on in my brain? today?
They're so awesome.
They're not freezers though.
No, they're just fucking badasses.
Yeah,
of
they're
the
probably
ocean.
fighters. Anyway, so I'm the possum. I'm a freezer.
Okay.
So I love scary things.
Okay.
I love to be scared, but I'm easily scared at the same time.
Yes, you love being scared.
Well, I like
we,
it.
We go to like haunted houses and stuff,
Love
and
it.
she just loves it.
Love it. Went on a trip to Scotland. We decided to take a haunted tour
Sounds
of the
amazing.
streets. So not even in a house. Haunted tour of the streets. And unbeknownst to me and everyone else, there was a scary, cause there's this guy in a cape and he dresses up and he's our host and he's adorable and he loved me, of course.
Who wouldn't?
But unbeknownst,
She's a magnet. You're just drawn to her.
just
Yeah.
unbeknownst to me,
Okay.
there's also a dude
I love this
who's
already.
dressed as a monk in a mask, and I don't know if we've gone into my mask fear or not in here
No,
before.
everything about Mask Fear is real.
It's to this day I am terrified of masks. To
Logical.
this day.
That to me is 100% logical.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're leveling up here.
Okay.
I didn't know you're coming. You're a haunted monk and you're wearing a mask.
And you're on a haunted
and
tour.
I'm on a haunted tour, right?
So
But he's
cool.
like you don't know he's part of the tour because he doesn't come out for a little while. And then, bam! Pops out at you. Everyone else, well, half the people laugh because I think they weren't scared. So that instinct wasn't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The other people I'm with that I think did have that fight or flight instinct, I think we were holding arms. I was holding arms with someone.
Yeah.
And they tried to pull me.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do. I actually probably
You would
just
try to pull me.
No, I'd just let go of you. And
You
run.
forget you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it. It is what it is, but my body's like, bitch, you're gonna survive.
Yeah. They try to go. I dropped straight to the ground.
Oh my god, I didn't
Straight
realize.
to the ground in a ball.
I didn't.
Like, I am just gonna I'm gonna go ahead and cover my head
You really go full possum.
and close my eyes, and I'm
Wow.
just gonna be right here till it's all over. All over. Survive that interaction, and then of course Mr. Monk comes later down the road. But at this point, we all know Susan's a freezer now,
Oh,
right?
no.
So he does it again, and I freeze. But this time, he just hangs out,
What a...
just over me, and everyone takes pictures.
Oh, Susan, that's terrible.
Just me in a corner.
Just
Everyone's
eyes
taking
closed,
pictures.
nothing's happening.
Eyes closed.
Going somewhere
on
else.
the ground.
Oh, Susan. This is actually kind
On
of
the
terrible.
ground. Just, I'm gonna huddle in a ball. If you kick me, you kick me. I don't know. What am I gonna do?
I thought this story was fun, and now I just kind of want to fight the monk.
No, it's fun.
Was that
It's
fun
hilarious.
for you?
Oh, everyone had fun.
Hmm.
In the moment, I think because I knew it was haunted. Once he went away from me, then
Okay.
then it's like, oh, this is.
And you do
I got
genuinely
scared.
like being scared.
I know I'm gonna survive it. This is for then
Okay,
it's
okay,
fun.
okay.
Like I look back on that haunted tour as having had a great time.
That's so interesting. I do not like being scared. We do not share that in common. We
Okay.
share so many things in common. I do not enjoy on any level.
But I want to know
that
I'm
reaction.
I want to know I'm going to a scary movie and be like I don't want to be scared when I'm not expecting it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That
Oh, yes.
freaks me out on a different level.
Okay, but still the same reaction.
But I
Like,
still react scared. But somehow
Still
my
freeze.
body, when that's over,
Yeah.
enjoys that endorphin rush or something. Maybe I don't know.
oh, I bet it's 100% the endorphins. You're
Yeah.
1,000% correct. I mean, we have talked a lot about how coping skills have to kind of help balance that.
Yeah.
And how common it is for people to seek things that give you that high level of release.
Yeah.
I would say synthesizing fear is a positive way to do that, right?
Okay.
Like if you're seeking it out and
Yeah.
it's a safe execution.
It's
Love
a safe
that.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I know there's pictures of that.
Yeah.
I will find them
Okay.
and we'll put it.
Yeah, we gotta post
Put
that
it
on
up.
Instagram. Okay, do you want to hear a more shameful version of my flighting?
Of course I do.
This one was preceded by a phone call of me to my husband, making him tell me I wasn't a bad person because you truly cannot control, right? So I'm sitting in my office faces our street, and I see this very large pit bull run unaccompanied to the left, and it's not a pit bull I recognize. We walk the dogs in the neighborhood quite a bit. We also have 2 pit bulls. I am so in love with the breed.
So it's not even the dog. It's probably the vibe you were getting from that one.
I don't think it was a vibe. It was like, oh my gosh, someone is, because pit bulls sometimes spark a fear reaction in a person.
For some people, sure. Especially if they're running at you.
Yes, which is just going to mean bad news for the dog, right? So I'm immediate, like, we
Yes.
got to get this guy back to his owner, right?
Right.
So I see it, and it's so pretty, but it also didn't have a friendly vibe. Like it was you know how dogs can kind of like meander and like be
Yeah.
smelling stuff and peeing on stuff, and like it was
Just
kind of
literally taking itself for a walk,
totally.
enjoying the day.
Yeah. But this guy he had a little more of a beeline. I was like, oh crap. So I thought, I'll go call him, right? Like I'll just get him.
Give him
And
a treat.
I don't recognize him, but I do. I know most of the dogs in the neighborhood, so I'm trying to like think, okay, where does he belong? So I opened the door. It was like a very nice day, and I see like kids following it, and I was like, oh hey, is that your dog? That'd be like such an easy fix. They're like, no, we don't know whose dog it is, and I was like, oh okay. Can you go back to your parents and just let them know? Because I'm thinking like, I do not want a dog, like a huge dog in the mix of this. Like, oh my god. And one of them's like, nah, and they're pretty far away from me across the street. And I was like, hey, will you please just go back to your parents? I kind of know the house they live in, so I'm like, just go back to your parents and then tell them about the dog before you go after it.
Yes, please.
And so 2 of them turn around and take that route, right? And then, but there's an older one, she's just really vibing with the dog. I'm like, hey, can you please? And then the dog turns around and just beelines for both of us. And I had tried to call the dog. And I didn't run to the child. I ran into the house, which like is much closer. Not, and
because you weren't right next to the kid.
Oh my gosh, no! I would have picked her up and taken her with me, but we were actually quite far apart. And I felt like such a fucking coward.
No.
Like I was like, why didn't my body response be to run towards the child? I could have never reached.
Because you're not a fighter.
I'm a 0%
You're
fighter.
not a fighter.
And by the way, everything turned out. No kids were attacked by dogs.
Of course.
The dog heard something else and ran that way. The concerning thing is I do think the dog wasn't really well intended. Like it was. Well, it did start chasing me, and I think now I know that I came between him and his house, so he was kind of making rounds, and so he had just gotten out and was a protective dog, which is totally fine. But you just need to, if you own a protective dog, I'm begging you to be ultra responsible because. One, if that dog had attacked someone, like they put the dog down, and it's not the dog's fault.
Yes, exactly.
It just breaks my
heart.
So that being said, I am being incredibly vulnerable and sharing a time where I felt I was just an absolute coward. And the thing is again, I couldn't control that body response, and so I then called Aaron, and he was like. Yeah, that's super funny, but you're not a bad person.
Yes! Yeah, you are not a bad person.
And then proceeded to make fun of me for, which actually made me feel better.
Your body did what your body did.
Yeah.
You had no... I don't know if I want to say no, but very limited control over that response. Yeah. Probably no control over that response at all.
Yeah.
So, but also I want to honor your vulnerability in sharing that. Because even though it turns out into a funny story, that's a big...
It was terrifying.
I know you well enough to know that you were probably a mess there for a while.
Oh, definitely. But, I love and want to support people with my entire core.
Exactly.
So to have, like, a physiological response
that goes almost against that. Or it feels kind of opposite of your nature.
Very oppositional.
Yeah.
And I tried to rationalize, like, I was trying to give them good instruction. Like, go home. Please go home. I'm asking you to go home.
Yeah.
And that's all. Logic brain. My logic brain is very driven to support humanity. And then lizard brain was like, bitch, get out.
Do you know, I just had a little, like, light bulb moment.
Oh my God,
Can we process that real quick?
Please.
So, I think it's very interesting that your processing brain, all it does is fight for other people.
Yes.
But your lizard instinct brain runs.
Absolutely, gotta protect.
All I ever do is do and go and how do I take care of people and do. But my instinctual brain is to just stop.
Wow.
I wonder if there's something to that. More for us to research. Constant learners. We are lifelong learners.
But
I wonder if there's something to that.
I love this idea.
Is your instinct
almost like the
flip.
Opposite? Or maybe even like because your greatest strength is always your greatest weakness,
Bam.
Right?
Ooh, preach it.
So maybe,
that's so true.
Like your greatest strength for me, it really is. And you guys, sometimes when I'm doing my job, I'm like, I couldn't imagine a job more designed for my skill set.
Watch out. I mean, she's not going to punch anyone for you, but she is going to, like, Jedi mind, like,
you can
law. Say it. Well, yeah. She gonna tear you up. Not physically, but she gonna tear you up for her clients.
And I will say I got actually like
and friends and family.
The sweetest feedback I got in a really long time, and it's someone who's known me since I was like an intern, right?
Yeah.
So she's seen my. She's never like supervised me, but we've worked.
Seen your progress.
Yeah, she's totally. And I was leading a meeting, and it was high pressure. And we're talking multi-systems teams. We're trying to get people to work together. And I'm leading this meeting, and I am facilitating, and I am making sure the hard things get said in a way that is palatable. And I got an email from her, and it just said, your skills in leading the meeting blew me away. She CC'd my supervisor. So helpful.
Oh, I love that so much.
It was awesome. It was like
she shouted you out.
And meant a lot because she's
throwback.
Yeah, hashtag throwback indeed. But she's been around. She's seen good practice. She's seen mediocre. And so I was like, man, I really am where I should be, right? Like practice. And that being said, I have these when my lid is flipped.
Yeah.
I have a response I'm super not proud of.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe my ability to think and run and for myself is kind of the same thing that I can do for other people when I'm not in lizard brain, of course.
Right.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot to be. This is such a really interesting idea because for you it's like you're always going and doing, but then when your lid is flipped, it's just to stop.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to anyone listening. If you have thoughts about this, or if you've ever analyzed the difference between like your upper, lower brain, I've heard it called, cold brain, hot brain, lizard brain, human brain, whatever part of your brain. Shout us out because I would love to hear more. That's a brilliant idea.
It's very interesting.
You could totally effing write a thesis about that shit.
New topic for sure on that.
Yeah.
I just, I don't have time to research it this week. But maybe next week.
It's okay. Let's just get some feedback and we'll explore it. No pressure.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
But email is twofriends.onechat@gmail.com. twofriends1chat.com if you want to just listen.
Just on our website. Yep.
We also are on Google Podcasts and
Insta.
It's just two friends, one chat. Yeah. No daughter period. So hit us up. I would love to hear more about thoughts about that.
Speaking of email or messaging, I hear you and or Aaron got a message about past stuff that kind of relates to this. So do you want to introduce that message and then I'll do my best to respond?
We have a listener named Mark. And
we have a listener.
He referenced when we had talked in passing about an incident at the gas station.
Oh.
And he sort of blew us up and he was like, what the F happened? Like, you can't just, and then just not.
The drama of my, I think I had referenced that because we were talking about like our safe people, right? And I had called my mom after that incident. And this very much definitely relates to this fight or freeze.
Yeah.
So, and I think I will share the story, but no, we will go more into the topic of the story in more episodes further, deeper later.
Yeah.
So I was at the gas station getting gas. We live in Oregon, so there's somebody that pumps your gas.
Oh,
right?
yeah, we're like the last state where that exists.
I'm sure we only have listeners in Oregon. If not, one day when we're big and famous and people from all around the world are going back and listening. So this dude was pumping my gas. He's a guy that's worked there forever. He talks to. My mom gets gas at the same station. Like, I had never had any odd
negative
bad interactions with him before.
Aggressive.
He's one of those that, he's a talker.
Sure.
Right?
Totally chill.
But anyway, so he's pumping my gas. He's chatting with me like normal. I have my window down because I was not thinking anything of it at the time. I was wearing a dress that day, and he was talking about how it was going to get cold, and he reaches in my window and touches my leg and tells me that I should get a blanket to put over me when it's so cold outside. And because that's what I do, I freeze. Right? I freeze.
Yeah.
I just completely stopped.
Yeah.
Stop talking, stop moving, just nothing. Just sitting there. And I think similar to your vulnerability, I think the part that bothers me the most is so the interaction happens. He didn't do anything else. He made some inappropriate comments. Was that the same time?
Mm-hmm. It was.
That was the same time,
I remember
right?
you telling me about it.
He had made some sort of comment about. It just grosses me out, like filling me up.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was all gross and it was all bad, and we'll dive more into, I think, that piece of how that is like inappropriate later.
Yeah.
But to go back to freezing, similar to you, I think I struggled with after the whole interaction and after calling my mom and while I'm processing with her, my initial reaction is to be mad at myself for not handling that correctly.
Totally, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
Why didn't I fight? Mm-hmm. Why didn't I say something, right? And again, I don't want to get into all of that this episode just because it's not the right episode. But it just goes to show that even in more serious circumstances, right, your body just does what it does.
Yes.
My body said, just freeze, don't do anything.
We're gonna get out of this.
We're gonna freeze until this ends, and we're gonna get through this by freezing, and then we're gonna drive away and we'll figure everything else out later. So I say that to tell listeners, it can be funny, right? But if you have a serious experience with this, which we all do, just know that whatever your reaction was, it was okay. It wasn't the wrong reaction.
I would actually go as far to say it was the right reaction.
Yes.
Right? Because how can it be the wrong one when it's just your body telling you to survive?
Yes.
Like, it's just, can I make one comment on your story?
Always.
Okay. That was sexual assault is my first thought. My other thought is, it's interesting when you tell the story that you had to describe what you were wearing. I think there's an interesting logical flaw in that, where I think you shouldn't have to say my legs were uncovered.
You just dropped another truth bomb.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Because you are 100%. I victim blamed myself.
You did.
I victim blamed myself. Ooh. Sorry guys, we're getting a little more clinical than I thought we were going to get today.
But I think it's really good, and I think it is really relatable, because I know that we have listeners that have done the same thing and are doing the same thing to themselves, because that is what we've been taught. And we will dive into, we're going to do a much more in-depth episode where we talk about that and maybe break down some of, what do they call them, like logical fallacies or When you're writing your trauma narrative and exploring those ideas, they're like stuck points, right? And it's really, this is what's so effing cool about having a therapist, is it's someone that you can, it's because I reorganized the office, but it's someone that you can tell this narrative to, and they can be like, #pause. It's really interesting you said it this way. Can we talk more about that?
Yeah.
And if you have been a victim, and if you're a female listening to this, there's a super statistically high likelihood that you are.
That you have. Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to get that professional help and to dive into that narrative, because I want you to know from like my fullest being, it is not your fault, and you did nothing to deserve this.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
And I don't think we can ever say that enough.
Yes.
To ourselves and to each other.
So, oh my God, so true. Yes. Yeah. I affirm that with
never
my entire being.
Say that enough.
Yep.
It is not your fault. Ever.
And I also don't want to lessen, because I have had people that identify as male.
Sure.
Be very honest with me about sexual assault.
Of course.
Yes. So I do not want to lessen that.
It happens.
I'm just speaking from my experience.
Of course.
So
yes.
Yeah. My lens is I identify as female, so it is very female driven, but men absolutely are victims of sexual assault.
Of course.
Yeah. It feels important to say.
Of course. But we will we have to just because we are mental health care providers.
Heck yeah.
And because of our personal history, like, we will jump way into that at a later point.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be
a
hard, beautiful episode.
Yeah.
We will probably cry, and I hope you feel good. We'll do what we do.
We're going to cry and laugh.
And definitely.
We're
But
gonna
we
cry
will
and
give
laugh.
a trigger warning before,
Oh, of
both
course.
on the cover art and at the beginning of the episode.
Of course, of course.
I hope that you enjoy. You know, to be honest, I didn't actually expect this episode to be as vulnerable as it was for me.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have a really light. When we did, we had a light.
Yeah, I mean,
episode.
we laughed. We laughed
But
a little
that, I think that's just the reality around one, friendship,
bit.
and two, mental health.
Yeah.
Is I mean, it's just it ebbs and flows, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's room for all of it.
Yeah.
There's room to be vulnerable and
Mm.
to cry and have really intense things happen to you, but also to laugh.
Yeah.
And find the joy and the silver linings, and things are funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it is okay.
They are funny, actually.
All of it's okay.
Okay. Reach out. Yeah,
Yes.
this was a bit heavier than I anticipated, but in a good way.
I think so.
Email
so.
us if you have any thoughts or ideas on these fight, fight, or freeze.
Yes, please.
And like what your perspective is.
please contact us. Share your survival responses, funny, not funny. And just like your friend did, like if you have questions, let us know.
Oh my gosh,
happy.
yes.
We are happy to clarify or go back, or we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's like,
You just got to tell us, and we'll give you the info.
oh yeah, we'll find it. We'll
You want to
find
know the
some
gas
kind of-
station story? I'll give you the gas station story. You just got to tell me you want it.
Oh, it's awesome.
Let us
Also,
know.
I am sorry that happened to you.
Thank you.
Because I love you, and that should have never happened.
Yeah.
So,
You were the second person. I don't remember if I called you or if I was just coming to see you the next day,
You
but
come
you were
to
the
see me.
next person.
I remember we were on the couch.
You were the
and
next
I was
person I told. You were
pissed.
mad.
Not at you, obviously.
No.
Obviously not.
No.
But I was just like, because you were
Who's
explaining
do I
it, and I
got
was
to
like,
fight?
that is assault.
I know.
Anyway.
Okay, anyway.
We digress. I just get passionate, and I love this lady. So,
And I'm also sorry if I scared you earlier. Was that in our
With the
first
band?
take? Or was that in our
no,
second
you
take?
did it. It's good. It's
Was that
good.
the second take?
I don't know. We thought we were recording an episode, and we just weren't, so we had to re-go back. But
So if I scared you earlier, I'm sorry. If I didn't, please ignore this.
oh, and have a great night. Whenever,
Oh.
wherever you're listening,
Yes.
our hearts are with you.
We love you.
So much.
We love you. You got this.
Bye.
Bye.